Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. Welcome back to another movie review. This time it is going to be on Pinocchio, the new live-action film. Now, this film is streaming exclusively on Disney+, and of course, it is the live-action remake to the beloved 1940 adaptation. The animated film adaptation that pretty much when people think of Pinocchio, they think of the original. I rewatched this movie. I rewatched it on Blu-ray. I did not rewatch it on Disney+. I know what you're thinking. Why couldn't you just stream it on Disney+? You want to know why? Because I do not get interruptions, and I get the best picture quality with Blu-ray and not Disney+. That's why. I only use Disney Plus when I have to, though I barely use it. I mentioned this before. I don't really watch any of those Marvel shows or anything like that. I just don't have time to watch all that stuff and see movies and review them for you guys. I don't really get into all that, so that's basically why. Usually my mom and sister use it pretty much, my dad too. I only use Disney Plus when I really have to, and I mostly watch movies, I watch Chip and Dale, Rescue Rangers, and all the other Pixar movies that stream to Disney Plus. But yeah, in case you've never heard of the entire plot, it's basically about this man named Geppetto who makes a wooden boy. He is a craftsman, and he creates a wooden boy that he calls Pinocchio, and he makes a wish that that boy would become a real-life human boy. And his wish sort of comes true, but Pinocchio has to prove that he is worthy of becoming a real boy by being brave, truthful, and unselfish. And from there, he tries to go to school, but he gets distracted, and a bunch of stuff happens throughout his journey of trying to become a real boy. Like, he gets taken as a slave for starring in a show for this one guy named Stromboli, and then he has to go find his father. Well, if you know the story, you know what exactly it's about. So yeah, Disney has been giving us pretty much nothing but live-action remakes. I mean, they still make animated films, just not in the traditional style. I mean, their animated films I still think are great. The modern ones I still think are great. I really enjoyed Encanto. I'm really looking forward to their next film, Strange World. So yeah, I kind of forgot this was coming out. Actually, Guillermo del Toro has another film adaptation of Pinocchio as well. And this film is directed by Robert Zemeckis, and it stars Tom Hanks, who I think are fantastic, and oh boy, oh real boy. I didn't like this movie. I think this is by far Disney's lowest point when it comes to their live action remakes, and I'd be lying to you if I said that I actually did enjoy it. My nose would be growing, but it's not, because I'm a real boy. I'm real. But yeah, bottom line, this movie was not good. I'm kind of happy that it's streaming only on Disney Plus and not in the theater, because I think it's gotten to the point where they're just really running out of ideas, like with coming up with new stuff, and they just don't seem to realize that we don't want to see remakes of classics that we all knew and grew up with. I mean, I didn't watch Pinocchio as much as I did Cinderella or what else, Dumbo or Snow White. I don't know why, because it's one of their best, like, for sure, but I just don't know. It's like I haven't watched it in like 10 or 11 years. That's how I haven't watched the movie as much, but I rewatched it, and it was pretty much the best watch I've had so far, and it still holds up to this day. Now, the movie, obviously, it takes apart from the original film, but it also tries its best to bring in, added stuff to set it apart from that original film, but it really doesn't work, okay? I mean, some of the visuals are nice, except the times when, Geppetto, is that what his name is? Geppetto, or he's like holding Pinocchio, but it really looks more like he's holding air. Like, they try their best to make Pinocchio not look horrid like how Sega did with their original Sonic design. Like, they did try to capture the look of Pinocchio as best as they possibly could. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is good as Jiminy Cricket. I mean, they did try to make him look as cartoony as possible, But I mean, the CGI Honest John, it looks way too realistic, and like they tried making that realistic, but not. I don't know. But when they do add stuff that sets it apart from that original film, I don't feel like it fully works. There's this side story with this character who was sort of a slave as well in Stromboli's show, who's a girl with a puppet who's supposed to be sort of Pinocchio's love interest. Some spoilers, by the way, because yeah, it's pretty much the same movie, just with added stuff. The ending's different too, but it really wasn't as strong. The best way I can describe this whole thing is that it just feels soulless and kind of doesn't really capture what made the original so great. Like, it's basically. Okay, so you take an older game, like, take a video game, an older game, and it gets remastered, and they don't change anything except the graphics, and they add, like, new levels and stuff. It's basically like that, only a lot of games do that, and they turn out good. Not all of them, but they turn out good. But this is just like that. Like, it's just like the original movie, just with a new coat of paint. It's like if it were a live-action director's cut. And while they do try their best to make it as visually appealing, even the last act was just like. It just felt completely green screened. In fact, it mostly felt noticeable. It's just Tom Hanks with a bunch of characters that aren't there in like a water-like setting. And the whale too, it's not even a whale. It's like a monster with a shark-like whale with tentacles. It's like a giant. I don't even know what to call it. They do try their best to get you hooked on like some of the references, like with all the clocks. There's like a bunch of Disney references to movies that weren't even made yet, like Toy Story and Snow White and Sleeping Beauty, specifically Maleficent. Even Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I think that was there because Zemeckis directed Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but that's not all. So yeah, there's more stuff in here, like even some of the details. Remember how in Pinocchio there was like smoking and stuff with the kids turning into donkeys? That's not in here because you know they're not allowed to do stuff like that. They don't even drink beer; they just drink root beer. I mean, they still say jackass in the movie, only once this time. They say it twice in the original, but yeah. And you know, I should probably point this out before I forget because I've been meaning to say this. Okay. They also add something else in the movie. You know, like how Pinocchio is walking to school and Honest John suddenly notices him? Well, guess what Pinocchio does? He stops for a minute, he sees something, goes up to it, and he smells it. Why smells it? What does he smell? Well, guess what? He goes to smell a pile of shit. Pinocchio smells a pile of shit in this movie. Excuse me for a minute. Okay. Still can't believe I'm going to be 22 this month. Where has the time gone? Okay. Now look, I didn't hate everything about this movie. Tom Hanks does try his best, but the fact is the characters don't have as much to them as the animated versions did. Like, even with the addition of some new characters, but you're really not going to care for their stories because, honestly, the new girl was very pointless and had no real main purpose other than then, oh, I want to be a star, but I'm a slave, but I'm going to start my own show one day. And hey, we're not doing everything to copy the original. I mean, there's the ending's different. Yeah, and Pinocchio does try to go into school, but they kick him out because he's just a one boy. Only real boys can go. But and they do add in new songs, but they were very forgettable too. Not that much, but yeah. In the end, guys, I know I'm spoiling a lot, but really, are you really going to care? I mean, not many people are taking this movie right now. I mean, while I was watching this movie, I was just like, why do they keep doing this? Why do they keep shoving these types of movies in your face. You know, in 2020, there was a foreign version of Pinocchio from, like, I forgot where, but I saw that in the theater. It was probably the best adaptation of Pinocchio I've seen since the Disney film, because that movie was doing something completely different. I mean, it's still the same story. It's just, well, sure, there are tons of other Pinocchio adaptations out there. Some work, some don't. But they don't fully try to capture the Disney film. Hell, there was a horror movie called Pinocchio's Revenge, which, if you watch my older videos, I absolutely hated. But I'm kind of happy that that movie exists. Because if it weren't for that movie, me and my friend Keen Bainham, aka MovieFan23, probably would have never met. And we still do talk. We've been talking for 8 years, and he's probably going to be in an upcoming video soon, so look forward to that. But I'm just saying, I'm talking way too long. I'm talking way longer than I should have. Bottom line, it's a very soulless remake that has no purpose of existing whatsoever. It's generic. It tries too hard, adding new stuff to set it apart, like with the ending and the new stuff, the new characters. But it felt soulless and didn't capture the magic of what the original film did so wonderfully, and becoming one of the most iconic animated films of all time. It just, while watching this movie, it just makes you wonder, why are they even bothering doing live action adaptations and just go back to doing their regular work? They're still doing Marvel and all this other stuff, but I'm just happy that it's on Disney Plus and people don't have to go out and see it in a theater. Even though theaters kind of need money right now, but yeah, it's by far the weakest live action Disney film adaptation out there, and most of them I thought were just fine. Like, a lot of people hated the new Mulan film. I thought it was alright. I didn't review it because the fact that so many people were just attacking it, like, so much, I didn't really feel like actually talking about it. I know it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but I am reviewing this film, and this film's getting attacked as well. But this one I'm fine with reviewing because, yeah, bottom line is, just watch this version if you want to re-watch Pinocchio again. This is another very pointless live-action Disney film, and they're not going to slow down anytime soon. Maybe the new Little Mermaid will be good. Let's just keep our expectations really low. I kept my expectations really low with this one, and yeah, my conscience just told me to turn it off, but I couldn't, because I just couldn't, even though I kind of wanted to. I will say, though, the cover version of When You Wish Upon a Star kind of had me notice that, the modern Disney logo that appears, the one from 2007 to the present. I did not notice that the theme that plays in the opening intro to the Disney theme was actually a version of When You Wish Upon a Star. I never noticed that, so I will give it that. But yeah, anyways, wow, this video's been going on for way too long. I know a lot of people are probably going to watch this. But yeah, anyways, I don't know when I'm going to have this video out, but it doesn't matter because you're watching it now. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Word out.